Hi, Josh Sohold here with Gannett Ridge Hunting Equipment. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the new Prime Rize. This bow is a bit revolutionary in the sense that it has an 82X aluminum riser, which is the highest grade aluminum riser that's been put out in the market. What that means to you as a shooter is that when you fire this bow, the amount of hand shock or feedback that you feel gets reduced substantially. And it's true of this bow. Shooting this thing, perhaps the only complaint that we heard from anyone who tested a Prime last year was that maybe it had just a little bit more hand shock than some of the other bows out there. They've really addressed that issue with this aluminum, and I think, you know, test one of these things, it's for real. A couple of stats just on this bow. It's 33 inches axle to axle, 335 feet a second IBO speed, 6 3/4 inch brace height. Coming off of these dual binary cams that they do, which is also a patented technology from Prime. And what that dual binary cam does for you is, or dual parallel cam, is that it squares off the load on those cables and strings when you pull back, and so you don't have any cam lean. So literally in tuning these bows, you fix the timing, everything else is done, and then you go shoot the bow. It's incredibly easy, you know, for us as a pro shop to work on these bows and get them firing perfectly. We've tested this bow through the chrono, you know, running actuals in the 320, which is running a 30 inch with a 382 grain arrow at 70 pounds. And, you know, you go, well, the IBO's 335, and IBOs are a good, you know, marker of under a certain situation, that bow will fire that quickly. What we find in the market is that a realistic hunting setup or an arrow that's heavy enough that you'd want to shoot at an animal, typically, you're not going to run the speed that's going to be on the sticker. It's going to be slightly slower than that. But the faster bow you start with, the faster bow you end with when you do make your adjustments. And at 320, this bow is actually competing closer to bows that are rated in the mid 340s that we see out in the market that we're running through the chrono and seeing those speeds. So very, very realistic in what the speeds they're talking about in this bow. You're going to be very happy with how quickly it shoots. The biggest deal is the combination of how this bow feels versus the speeds that you're shooting are pretty remarkable. It has a Flexus flex guard that they do, roller bearings, so really minimal wear on your cables as you're shooting. That flex guard flexes in and reduces torque during the shot. Prime does a bake-on finish with the Optifade Open Country and all the camos that they do. But unlike a dip, the pattern comes out perfectly and exactly, and also adds strength and rigidity to the whole bow, behave a thousandths of an inch, you know, similar to a Cerakote or some type of bake-on coating you'd be familiar with in the rifle industry. That's what these guys are doing and taking that extra step in the archery industry just to make that finish last longer, make everything on the bow last longer, and it looks really sharp. The other added benefit to that is you get an incredibly flat tone to the overall bow, so you're not going to shine a whole lot when you're sitting in the tree stands or spotting and stalking. We're just incredibly fired up about this bow this year, and encourage you, if you're in the Fort Collins area, we have moved our store out to 3006 East Mulberry Street, or you can get us on the web at www.gannetridge.com. Check us out on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But glad to be back and doing some films again for you here. A lot more to come from us, so appreciate you viewing today, and come shoot this bow. It's worth a try.